Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Saturday the 21st of March. Well, last weekend was a winning week. It was the football bet came up, both teams to score, and I think we started okay on the horse racing, but in the end it went a bit pear-shaped. But I think overall it was a slight winning day. Let me get into Saturday's selection. So, as always, I do like the look of these. There are 7 selections. It's an each way Super Hinds. There's some very big prices. You won't be able to see the prices because I've clicked SP, but I will tell you roughly the price now. So let me get into the first selection. So the first selection is Pitwood Road in the 1 o'clock at Kelso. This one's currently 40 to 1. So this has got plenty to find. It's trained by Nicky Richards, ridden, I believe, by Danny McMenamin. I didn't think I'd be able to say that then. Danny McMenamin. Oh, it's easy. So this horse, it was trained in Ireland. It came over and was trained for 2 races by, I believe his name's Chris Grant, former jockey, and now it's trained by Nicky Richards. I believe it came second, then it won its last run. It is stepping up in trip, but I just think the 3rd place in this race is wide open. I do think the first 2 in the betting have got every right to be there. I think they are, I won't say head and shoulders above the rest, but they are the more consistent performers. I do think the Joe Tizard horse looks a danger, but I'm just not convinced. Well, I'll say I'm not convinced. There are concerns over whether it'll stay this 3 mile. It is an easy 3 mile at Kelso, but it does actually, it's a bit of a tough course. It's a fast course, but if you get it wrong, you can quite easily not stay on this course if you go off too quick. And it is quite undulating and tight in places. So it is a 2.5 mile horse, the Tizard horse is, and it also fell last time. So it does leave question marks over that 3rd place. And I just think Pitwood Road at 40 to 1 could run above its odds. Will that be enough to snatch 3rd place? I don't know. I do hope so. I wish this was an extra place race, otherwise I'd be a lot more confident. If they're paying out on the first 4, I'd really fancy his chances, but I'm going to take the risk. It'll be a good start because it's the first selection if it does come at least placed. Nicky Richards knows this course inside out, so I think he probably knows what he's got, as in like the quality of the horse. So I think he just thinks that it might be worth trying to pinch a bit of listed prize money. So the second selection it's the Wood Corner in the 150, excuse me, at Newbury, trained by Nicky Henderson. I think there's more to come from this horse because I think it's been messed around with slightly. It does tend to run a little bit keen. It did run in a novice hurdle and it has won a race. I just think it may have been aimed longer term for this type of race. It's over just short of 2.5 mile. Nicky Henderson does pretty well at Newbury. It's a Grade 1 track, and to be fair, although he's not been in the best of form over the years, apart from the odd few decent horses, he is a Grade 1 trainer as well. So I do think this horse has got a decent chance in this race. The next selection is Mr. Fustic or Fustic in the 220 at Southwall. This horse has dropped massively in the ratings. It was running, I think it's ran 4 times at Southwall so far. Generally, it's run well. And even when the times it hasn't, it's ran off a much higher mark. It's off something like 51 or 53 today. Last year and the year before, it was running off the 60s and 70s at Southwall and still running quite well. All of a sudden, it's dropped in the ratings and it's become a very dangerous horse. There are a couple that I can also pick in this race as well. Heretic and Scenario. I've been that close to putting both of them in instead of this one, or one of the other ones instead of the other one, but I've gone for Mr. Fustic in the end. They're paying 4 places. You can guarantee one of the 3 is probably going to run very well. As I said, I've gone for Mr. Fustic. I do fancy Heretic and Scenario. I think Scenario is a very interesting horse because it's got treat pieces back on. So I've gone for Mr. Fustic. You just know I'm going to get egg on my face. The next selection is Twin Jets in the 225 at Newbury. This horse has gone a bit quiet or a bit wayward in the last 2 runs. It fell, I believe, At Cheltenham. I might be wrong, it might not have been Cheltenham, but it fell. The time after, it pulled up, but the reason behind it pulling up was because it was taken on for the lead and it couldn't dominate. So, okay, we'll put a line through that one. So now they've got, I believe it's a a £5 apprentice jockey on board, Jade Tidball. I have heard of him before. I think he's done okay. He's only claiming 5, so clearly it is ridden winners. I think this horse will go straight to the front. There is nothing that is confirmed to be an out-and-out front runner in this race apart from Twin Jets. So if it goes straight to the front, I think it's more likely to run its race. And as I said, there's nothing on paper, technically, that should take it on. The only horse that could is I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's something authorised. I believe it's coming off a long absence by Gary and Josh Moore. I just don't think they'll send that straight to the front after such a big absence. So I do think Twin Jets is very likely to get its own way in front. Then hopefully we might see a different horse. The next selection is Queen of the Jukebox. In the 3 o'clock... It's all right. In the 3 o'clock at Newbury. So this horse was had shown some very decent National Hunt form. It then did okay over hurdles, then it had a wind operation, and it's gradually coming into a little bit of form. It's towards the bottom of the handicap. It's only off something like 104, but it was showing very promising National Hunt flat form only a year ago, and I just think there's more room for progression. I can't remember who trained it, but it's owned by the Noel Fahey Racing Syndicate. I definitely think it's got a decent chance. The next selection is the Nap of the Day. It's only the Nap of the Day because I was very, very impressed of how it won last time. It beat all the fancied horses, barring one, all ran their race. And this horse on, I think it was ground described as soft, but it did look pretty bad at Chepstow. This horse never looked like stopping. I think it could have kept going round again. So what happened was, so the horse is called Keltype. It's trained by Rebecca Curtis. It's in the 3:35 at Newbury. And I also believe that she is now, I know she's done well with Haiti Couleurs, but I think she's gradually getting some much better horses. And they seem to have the Haiti Couleurs colours. They always seem to come from the point-to-point background. But this horse, on its penultimate run, the race at Chepstow turned into a sprint, and you could see the horse trying for its life, but its legs just wouldn't go quick enough. This horse doesn't want a sprint finish. So on its next run, it was prominent throughout and took it up from a long way out, and nothing could live with it. And the horse didn't even seem hard pressed. It wasn't the favourite that day, so it did run above itself. I think it was 13-2 when it won, and there was a lot more. I think it was like 4 or 5 horses lower priced than that horse that day. That all finished not too far away from it. Well, I say not too far away. I think it won by something like 29 lengths in the end. But I mean, they filled the places like 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th, something like that. So the horses didn't really run below themselves. I think Keltype really came on from its first run. This horse, in my opinion, must go to the front or be at least in the first 3 in this race at Newbury. It is a National Hunt flat race. And I do also like the fact that Ben Jones on front, because I think Ben Jones was quite decent from the front. So Keltype is the Nap of the Day. It's an each way Nap of the Day. It's currently, I believe, about 10-1. I may be wrong, but it's somewhere around about that price. Right, the next selection and the final selection of the horses is King Turjon in the 4:45 at Newbury. So this horse, it's coming off a little bit of an absence. I think it's 99 days. This horse has also entered in, I believe it's the Topham at Aintree, which is literally, I think it's about 3 weeks away, I think. So if this horse has got any chance of running that race, I don't know. It might have just been kept in that race. I don't know, but it must win this race. This horse is currently, I think it's 12-1. King Turjon, there are lots of... This isn't a good race, by the way. This horse is top weight. It's the best horse in the race. Its form, I believe it's only ran twice this year. Last time's form was okay. The time before was more encouraging. But this is a horse that can run well after a wind operation. This isn't first run back after a wind operation, but what it shows is it can run after absences. So there has been several absences in the past where it's been missing for a while and it's returned and ran a decent race. It's also ran well on both reappearances after a wind operation. So it tells me that this horse, you can get it fit at home. So I think this horse could run a race. It's not ran on a race course for 3 months, but this, in my opinion, there are doubts over a lot of the other horses. So I personally think that this horse has got a decent chance. It needs to be, in my opinion, in the first 2 or 3, no worse than that. And hopefully, fingers crossed for a decent run. The issue is there are 8 runners, so if there's none runner, obviously it turns into the first 2 only. So those are the 7 selections. As I said, Keltype is the nap of the day. Queen of the Jukebox is a very interesting horse off a featherweight. Twin Jets, if it goes straight to the front, it could make them all struggle. Mr. Fewstick, it's 1 horse out of selection of 3. Like I said, Heretic and Scenario were also selections, but I've chosen this one. I'm just going to sneeze. Excuse me. Excuse me. The Wood Corner, I just think it may be laid out for this race or targeted for this race. And Pitwood Road is far too big a price than it should be, and I think it will run above itself. Even if it comes 5th, it has ran above itself. But obviously, we need it to come in the first 3 to get a nice return or a nice start for the day. So what I've had is I've had a 10 pence each way Super Hinds, and what I will do is I'll put a small each way amount on each selection with a bigger amount on Keltype. I do really like the look of Keltype, as long as it goes straight to the front. If they hold it up last, it's 0 chance. It must be in the first 3 because it's a constant galloper. That's exactly what Keltype is. So the football selections will be in the description and the first comment by about 10 AM this morning. So if you leave me a comment, leave me a like. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.